Okay, let's try this one more time. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jayma Pantel, Austin, Texas. I am a portrait photographer, and I have made it my passion to learn and understand Google as much as possible. Being a business owner, being found any way you can is important, and Google is one of the many, many tools you can use to help your business be found. Not just your website, but having a Google My Business page in the eyes of Google makes you look important and helps you rank higher. So getting a Google My Business page set up is very simple and easy. The hard part is getting verified. But once you're verified, then you can do a lot more with the Google Business page. So I'm going to create a fake business to walk you through how to create a business page. And then I'll go back to my business page to show you the features and how to share, to get reviews and stuff later on, which you can't do any of that until you're verified. So I'll show you how to set up a page, show you where the verification would pop up to set a page, and then I'll bring you back to my page and show you how you can do some stuff in there. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll try to answer them as we go. I'm notoriously a fast speaker, but I have been teaching a lot more since COVID started digitally this way, virtually, and I have been working on speaking slower so people can understand me. So tell me to slow down if I'm going too fast. Okay, let me share my screen with you guys and get going. So to have a Google business page, you have to have a Gmail email. And to do that, go to Google and set up an email account. I'm already logged in because I'm always logged in, but if you don't have one, go to Google, set up a Gmail, and it'll log you in. To go to the Google business page, just Google business, and it'll take you to the Google business page. Sign in with your Gmail account. Like I said, I'm already signed in, so it'll pull up my business, but it'll be a blank screen for anybody who's starting out. Simply add a business. So if you're taking over, I don't know if y'all are all independent businesses or whatever, if you're taking over a business that already has a listing, there could already be a page for it. That's a whole different process, but basically you would have to ask them to transfer ownership because some business names are already in Google. For those of you who have your own business or it's under your name or anything, it might show up. If you have a website active, it could very well be on Google already. And so you can search for it here. Like mine would show up if I type mine, simply because it's got, there I am, it's under my name. Can't find your business, that means you don't have one, so you add a business to Google. So we're going to add a business to Google and you come up with your business name. Type it in, next. Choose the category that best fits your business. So I'm a portrait photographer, so you just type in, it'll give you options. You generally want to stick to the options it gives you because those are the words that rank or mean something to Google. Photographer easily comes up for me. Real estate, all of that would show up. Those are very common things. So you just start typing in and it'll give you suggestions and pick the one that closely aligns to you. Next. Do you want to add a location customers can visit? So this one is huge. Pay attention to this one. If you have a physical business location where people come to you, yes, put that in there. Like
I don't. I'm cloudless. What would I do?
Exactly. So this is where this is important. It matters. You have to have a physical address. So you put your home address in there. You don't want your home address to show to the world of Google because you don't want stalkers or anything else. You still tie it to your home address, but you hide it later. So this is the stuff to pay attention to here. Do you want to add a location customers can visit? I'm going to go with no, because I'm going to assume most of y'all do not have physical. I don't have one. A lot of smaller businesses don't have one yet. If you do, it's very straightforward and simple. Hit yes, type address. Those of you that don't know, click next. And you'll enter your street address. Oh, where do you search? I'm sorry. where do you serve your customers? So y'all serve in San Antonio or whatever, you put the city in there. I'll put Austin because that's where I'm at. You can change, okay. After you select your address, hit next, enter your contact phone number, your website URL. I don't have a website, click that. Very simple, straightforward. You enter all that, click next. It won't let me go through without entering one. You can also, if you don't have a website, you can set up a free one on Google and it'll let you do that in this process, but you don't have to. And that's basically how you set up the page. If I clicked finish, it would publish it now. When you click finish and publish now, you can go back and review everything, but you've got to verify your page. And so if I clicked finish, a verify your page action would pop up in this corner and you click verify. It'll make you go through everything else again, make sure all the information's accurate, and Google will mail you a card in the mail that has a verification code on it. You can't do anything until you get that verification code and enter it. Once you get that code in, you log back in and there'll be a, through that verification that I was talking about, it'll ask for the code, you enter that code, then your page is active. So once your page is active, it would show up like this, that you own something, you're verified. Like I said, if you're unverified, there's going to be a little pop-up box asking you to verify. Once you're verified, it'll show you're verified. And that's when you show up on Google. So once you're verified, you can go in and make changes at your leisure now. Don't make any changes while you're waiting for that verification code. It will delay verification status. There's all kinds of issues with it. So make sure everything that you've entered is accurate before you verify. Once you're verified, then you can come in and make your changes. The little pencil tool is your edit button. And so here's the information that we entered on that first page, Photographer Portrait Studio J, my name's service location, Austin, Texas. That's what I'm talking about. And when you enter that, you can, it will bring up a map where you can put what service area you work in. So mine is over Northwest Austin, since that's where I'm located. You want it as close to your home address as possible for Google purposes. Google will not verify you if you put that service area in a place that you're not. Some people, you have to have special permission from Google to do that. And that's a whole other thing. And you have to get on the phone with them. Google doesn't want you falsifying information. They're going to assume you don't run a business somewhere else if you're not physically there. So for you to do that, it takes more work on Google's end and talking to customer support and that kind of stuff. But it has the address hidden and it just has the service area. And like I said, you can move that service area over you. You can expand it, contrast it, whatever you want. So when you're in here, you can make changes to it, add in your hours of operation. Just by clicking the pencil, and that will edit everything for you. Once you're verified, create a name. It'll give you an automatic name. Create it custom to you, to your business. Jayma Pantel Photography, I created it to mine. It helps the link that you send when you get reviews and stuff like that. So it's not just a bunch of numbers and letters. It's something more specific to you. So it looks more like you're a legitimate business. Once you're in, also your services, you picked one at the beginning, you can go and pick more service. You have more options of services to put on there. I do headshots, I do family, I do corporate. And so I then put more information in once you're verified. And then you can write a bio about your business, that kind of stuff. So that's basically how to get the page going. To help it in the eyes of Google and as a business owner, you can add in photos, you can add in special offers, you can add in all kinds of, if you see this down the side, there's so many different things you can do. here.
Can
So
people
what,
check into this?
do what?
Can they check in to your Google?
They can check into my Google. Yes, I've had people check in to mine before. So when you have reviews and clients and stuff like that, it makes it easier to get all that. There's certain steps you have to take before you get there. I've run tests on this many times. The more pictures you post, the more active you are in Google, the more you show up. So I did a entire 6-month period where every day when I was posting to my social media, I shared the same. I'm picture oriented, clearly, as a photographer. Every picture I shared on social media, I also shared on Google, and my performance stats shot through the roof. They're down right now because I haven't touched it in a month or so.
And we're all going to give you a good review, huh?
Yes, please go in and give me good reviews. That's what I wanted to talk about. The more reviews you have on Google, the better you look in the eyes of Google. So I've got 6 5-star reviews already. They are from clients. so that's good. So when you go to reviews here, you can see, and Google changes things. Obviously, you want to stay up to date on trends. It used to not give much weight if you replied to them or not. Nowadays, it's more beneficial if you reply to them. So you can easily reply when somebody leaves you a comment, reply to it. It takes no time for you to do it. So do that, and it's very helpful in the eyes of Google. But back in the day, it used to not be. And so I didn't always do it. So you can get, let's see. So if you're making an offer in Google, you can do updates, you can add offers, add updates, add events, stuff like that, that will show up in Google. These are attempts to make you buy ads from Google, but you don't have to. But it's beneficial that you create one a month. It's helpful in the eyes, like I said, of Google. Likewise with your information, every time it updates. And you'll get emails from Google about, on the holidays, you have special hours. So it wants you constantly updating it and keeping your clients engaged. If it goes inactive, they don't like that. So you want to constantly engage in here somehow, share an image, share a post, share, insights, anything. If you have, and I don't get messages through here, I do everything through my own website, so I don't have any of this set up, but this page can basically act as a website for you where they can do everything through Google, which is kind of what a lot of these platforms want. Facebook wants you to do everything through Facebook. Google wants you to do everything through Google. Apple doesn't sometimes work with Android apps. You get the idea. Everybody wants everybody on their platform because it's more revenue for them. So you can create an entire page on here where you can get messages, do bookings through here. Like I said, I don't have any of this set up, but you can go through all of this once you're verified and set up each and every one of these, create an ad, get everything custom. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a little bit. Let me pull up this. Does anybody have any questions yet?
I think we're just all looking at it like, whoa.
Yeah.
What do I need to put in there?
All of the basic information is really easy. It just walks you through it. It's once you get verified that you can do so much more for it, and it's hard to show. Like I said, I have my own website. I have my own contact through my website. If you're doing everything through Google, you have the ability to do that. So a couple years back, I don't know if any of y'all remember Google Rooms or Google Hangout. That's what it was, Google Hangout, where Google wanted to try to take over Facebook and do their own version. And so all of this used to be tied into that. They got out of that business. Then they said you can only do all of this through the app. So I actually have the Google My Business app on my phone. They backed off on that, and you're back to able to do it on your computer. This is what I mean. Things are constantly changing, so you just have to keep up with it. they made a lot of it very simple to manage on the phone. I use Apple products, so you have a Google My Business app on there. Everything that we went through on there shows up on here, your home, your customers, your search, your profile, all that information, all that information, everything can be done on your phone as well. So like I said, if you're posting to your social media all through your phone, go to your Google My Business page and post it on there too. Just make it part of your process, and that'll help you get more.
And we'll have days where we give each other reviews as well.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
periodically, so you help build us.
That it really, really helps. So right here on your home page, from once you're verified and everything comes to this home page. And these are all these little sections here. There's all over the homepage. So get more reviews. I know people were asking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Share the review form, click share the review form. And this is what I mean when you created your own unique name, Jayma Pantel Photography. If you don't create one, it'll assign you a bunch of random letters and numbers. This is why you want it tied to your brand and your name and whatever unique to you. So it looks like it's coming from a legitimate business versus it coming from spam, which is why they want you to adjust this and make it your own. So same thing, copy and paste it. You can share it immediately to those, or you can copy and paste it and send it in an email, post it in a group, post it wherever you like. The downside with this, people cannot leave you Google reviews if they don't have a Gmail email address. I don't know anybody in the world who doesn't have a Gmail email address, but they exist. Some people still use Yahoo and the likes. So they cannot leave you a review without having a Gmail email address, and they have to be signed into that. So that is the downside. I don't know if you'll call it. Not everybody wants to log into something and leave that. So that is a downside to it. It's too much work for some people to leave a review that way. They do have to have a Gmail email account to leave you a review on here. So just keep that in mind. And tell me something that y'all in y'all's business. I know for photography, obviously pictures are important to me.
Well, for real estate, they're very important for us as well.
Okay, if it's important to y'all, then like I said, every day or every other day when you're posting to your social, if you post the houses, you post your closings with your clients, you know, celebrating, signing, post all of that to here too. You have more limited characters that you can use on here versus your Instagram or your Facebook. I think you only have 100. It's less than 100 characters. It's not very many. Those characters can be keywords. So Google recognizes keywords, much like search engine optimization when you're designing your website and you want to be found as San Antonio real estate agent or whatever your keywords are for your business. Use those in your post. So closing on a house, closing a real estate transaction in San Antonio or the neighborhood or whatever. Insert those in human speak, but it speaks to Google. So those are some tips on that, because Google is a search engine. They like these keywords. So you sprinkle them in on all your posts as much as you can.
So when you were setting up your business account, there were a bunch of hashtags that you chose from, and that's a search engine whenever people search.
So those hashtags are for search engines in like Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff. Google is still not all that big on hashtags. They are more concerned with keywords. And so those for me, Austin photographer, Austin portrait photographer, Austin family photographer, headshot photographer, corporate photographs, any variation of these. And this is way more in-depth SEO, search engine optimization work, but it all ties into Google, the monster that is Google. That's how big a market share they have.
So every time you upload a photo, you're inserting keywords to To
on
tag.
this.
Okay,
Yeah.
to tag to
On your Instagrams and your Facebooks, those keywords don't matter. Your hashtags are what matters on there.
Yeah.
So whatever hashtag you might be using on there, you insert it as a keyword on Google, if that
And
makes sense. Yeah.
Keyword can also translate to phrase. You know, it can be
Yes,
a
a long
phrase
tail
as
keyword.
well.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. Long tail keywords all
And
translate.
and I want to say to us real estate gals, be sure you look at your code of ethics. It has just come out for 2021 because there are some changes in the way we are looking at social media and things like that, just so that we're all not going to get our license revoked and whatnot. So I encourage everybody to go to Trek or TAR and download that.
Okay.
And Google penalizes you for a lot of stuff as well. So you don't want to keyword stuff a post, an image. As an Austin family photographer, taking pictures of this Austin family was great. But you sound more like a robot. You want to speak like you speak to a person and use those keywords sparingly. And I wouldn't put Austin family photographer in every single image. It's different variations of this. And there are so many tools that you can use to research what keywords work for you. Like I said, I just set up a new computer and I don't have my Moz bar sign in on this one yet. There's Surf SEO. There's are the big ones where you can create a free account with them. Go into, type in your keyword on a Google search bar.
Surf SEO.
Surf SURF SEO. Here, I'll share my screen again and show you another quick. A lot of those are paid, but here's a quick, easy way to. So if I did Austin photographers, these come up, but if you scroll to the bottom of the page, it gives you suggestions here. That's an easy way to see what words people are searching for. These are the more popular search terms. So if you did real estate, the other, like the Surf SEO, that kind of stuff will tell you how many searches per month people are using. Real estate Austin, y'all's would be real estate San Antonio. If you use any of those paid like Surf SEO or anything like that, I think you get a few free ones before they start charging you. A little number would pop up right here with how many searches per month. Mm-hmm. And then there'd be a little bar right here at the side that gives you suggestions and how many searches they get per month. But based on that, if you just scroll to the bottom, this is the cheap, easy way to do it. These are what words people are searching for right now. These change all the time. But in I'm logged into my zip code, my area, so people around me are searching for these specific things. So there's an easy way to do search and figure out what keywords people are using and work on integrating them into your image posts and whatnot. Likewise, in your bio, you would insert these keywords sparingly, just anywhere there's words written. I've got a list of about 20 keywords that I use throughout, so it's not the same one every time because you get penalized for that. Are there any other questions or anything that y'all are thinking about?
I put the words in my notes and then I just copy them.
Yep, exactly. And for social media, Instagram especially, they don't like you copying and pasting anymore. They penalize you for that. Yeah. So things are constantly changing on these. You just have to be up to date on them. I'm sure that'll change again where you can again copy and paste. But right now you're being penalized on social media for copying and pasting. They want you to type everything out itself versus copying and pasting your posts from Facebook to Instagram to here. Like, if you've tried doing it, you'll notice you get a notification that pops up saying copied and pasted from whatever. That's it, penalizing you. It's letting you know that you're being penalized without telling you you're being penalized, but that's what it's doing right now.
See this.
Yeah, that's what it's doing right now. That's a new thing. Like I said, it's constantly changing. They're constantly messing with things. So you just have to kind of stay up on it. I am friends with a few search engine optimization experts, and they usually make posts about hey,
Yeah, I
Google
know.
changed it, or Instagram changed it, or Facebook changed it, and then I'll go in and read on them. If you
So all of us, every single time you know something, tell me.
make a post,
I
yeah,
want to know
yeah.
too. We need
So
to know.
I've worked with SEO specialists. I can tell when my website's on page 1 of Google for many of my search words. Like I said, I've been studying Google for a long time. Sometimes it's easier for me to study computer language than people language. And I know when it falls that Google has changed something and they want you to do something new to appease them.
That's what I see too. It's like, now what?
Yep,
I can
exactly.
feel it. I can
Exactly.
feel it.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's constantly changing. So you just kind of want to stay up on top of it. If you don't touch, just like you don't touch your social media, the algorithms change and don't think you're important. Google is the same way. Your Google business listing is the same way. If you just set it up and don't touch it, they're not going to deem you important. Likewise on your website, if you set up a website and you don't make any changes, they're going to think you're unimportant. So you want to constantly be updating and changing every other day. And it doesn't have to be a big change. It could be a small change, and change a couple words in your bio or your about me, or add a new picture and put in, is the easiest way to do it. Add a new picture and put in a new something with that, or offer a new post and put in something with that.
So will you upload this one into
Yes,
the
I
Herd
can.
group as well?
I can upload it into there.
And I can think of a few more classes that you can give it. Remember that video you sent to me of how
Yes.
to take a selfie and
Yes.
stuff? Like this group, I think we could all learn.
Okay. So
that.
during lockdown, when you couldn't be around people, people were still trying to run their businesses and needed headshots. So I taught people how to take a headshot for themselves and how to pose themselves and light themselves. I am well lit right now because I have a light ring in front of me, lighting me properly, versus those of y'all who are sitting with a window behind you and you can't, yep. Jennifer, I see you. And you can't see your face very well, that kind of stuff. All of this matters in the business world. Amongst friends on something like this, it's not that big a deal. But if you are conducting a meeting with a client, they're noticing these things. They're judging you on all of this as a business owner. I Zoom with my clients quite a bit. I wouldn't necessarily be sitting in a Longhorn sweatshirt with any of my clients with my hair looking like this. I usually put on a running shorts always on the bottom, but a nice shirt on top. Always running shorts on the bottom, but a nice shirt on top, except for today because I was.
Oh, she's a marathon runner as well. She runs marathons all over the world.
I do. That's how I spend my free time. But lighting on your headshots matters, and posing yourself properly for your headshots matters. And I did a walk through a class on how to do that, and take your own pictures on that. So I will share it. I have it up on my YouTube channel, so I'll share the link for you guys on that. I'll share the link to this. If y'all are working on setting up your Google business pages and questions come up, tag me in the group and I'll help y'all in any way I can. But do we have any more questions before I shut down this recording? Everybody good? Okay. I'm going to stop recording.